Wingspan is a place full of birds. Your goal is to build a wonderful preserve that will lead you to victory. Learn new facts about birds. Blue jays can carry up to 5 acorns. Discover new species. Help them lay eggs. Gain food. Or even hunt. Become a bird enthusiast. Wingspan, a relaxing strategy game.
Lavender Legal Center is a nonprofit providing legal representation and related advocacy by and for LGBTQ Iowans. Lavender provides direct representation, advocacy, and referrals, with a priority for serving those with low income and LGBTQ youth. Lavender operates with 4 main core values. The first is equity, recognizing that legal aid and related advocacy are basic human rights. Second is inclusivity, providing equal access to services for those who are marginalized. Third is dignity. LGBTQ people are worthy of advocacy no matter their specific need for assistance. And fourth is compassion. LGBTQ people in need of legal services come to the matter with great vulnerability. To best serve those individuals and families, Lavender Legal Center must have concern and understanding for their sufferings. Your support of Lavender Legal Center helps further the mission to provide legal services, advocacy, and resources for the LGBTQ community. Together, we can build a more equitable, inclusive, dignified, and compassionate future.
Wingspan is a place full of birds. Your goal is to build a wonderful preserve that will lead you to victory. Learn new facts about birds. Blue jays can carry up to 5 acorns. Discover new species. Help them lay eggs. Gain food. Or even hunt. Become a bird enthusiast. Wingspan, a relaxing strategy game.
Lavender Legal Center is a nonprofit providing legal representation and related advocacy by and for LGBTQ Iowans. Lavender provides direct representation, advocacy, and referrals, with a priority for serving those with low income and LGBTQ youth. Lavender operates with four main core values. The first is equity, recognizing that legal aid and related advocacy are basic human rights. Second is inclusivity, providing equal access to services for those who are marginalized. Third is dignity. LGBTQ people are worthy of advocacy no matter their specific need for assistance. And fourth is compassion. LGBTQ people in need of legal services come to the matter with great vulnerability. To best serve those individuals and families, Lavender Legal Center must have concern and understanding for their sufferings. Your support of Lavender Legal Center helps further the mission to provide legal services, advocacy, and resources for the LGBTQ community. Together, we can build a more equitable, inclusive, dignified, and compassionate future.
Wingspan is a place full of birds. Your goal is to build a wonderful preserve that will lead you to victory. Learn new facts about birds. Blue jays can carry up to 5 acorns. Discover new species. Help them lay eggs. Gain food. Or even hunt. Become a bird enthusiast. Wingspan, a relaxing strategy game.
Lavender Legal Center is a nonprofit providing legal representation and related advocacy by and for LGBTQ Iowans. Lavender provides direct representation, advocacy, and referrals, with a priority for serving those with low income and LGBTQ youth. Lavender operates with four main core values. The first is equity, recognizing that legal aid and related advocacy are basic human rights. Second is inclusivity, providing equal access to services for those who are marginalized. Third is dignity. LGBTQ people are worthy of advocacy no matter their specific need for assistance. And fourth is compassion. LGBTQ people in need of legal services come to the matter with great vulnerability. To best serve those individuals and families, Lavender Legal Center must have concern and understanding for their sufferings. Your support of Lavender Legal Center helps further the mission to provide legal services, advocacy, and resources for the LGBTQ community. Together, we can build a more equitable, inclusive, dignified, and compassionate future.
Wingspan is a place full of birds. Your goal is to build a wonderful preserve that will lead you to victory. Learn new facts about birds. Blue jays can carry up to 5 acorns. Discover new species. Help them lay eggs. Gain food. Or even hunt. Become a bird enthusiast.
All right.
Plus, you can have like a weird relationship between
Yeah.
your two characters that way.
Uh-huh. Super
Well,
fun.
we are live. So
Yeah.
awesome. But I apparently did not set
We're
up.
mooted?
No, we're not muted. We are not visible. Uh, so I don't know why that is. I do know why that is. 1 second, please. Working.
Wait for it.
Should work. Okay, that didn't help. I thought it would work. Oh, it doesn't know where to find. Okay, I got part of a Tony. I got part. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Roleplay Give. I'm going to fix this stuff while we're talking. We are a virtual tabletop gaming community. Sometimes we play in person, not very often. But tonight we are playing Vault of the Drow, and I don't know why my cuts are so screwed up, but uh, oh, I
Are
do.
you on the right scene to have only this many players for 4?
Yep.
I am,
Okay.
but
Just making sure.
I now I gotta do it again. I know what I did. I'm an idiot. Okay. Uh,
We still like you.
Thanks.
Should we vamp for you?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Welcome to Roleplay Give. We are coming in from our last game when we hung out with some dead bodies and got a bunch of stuff, including an immovable rod. Then we went to visit. And Mary turned into a fire elemental, which was quite cool. And that's how we got the immovable rod and a wooden box. And
I think you threw the box into the lava, didn't you?
well, yeah, because the music box poked robes. Wooden box was a music box. It stabbed robes, and so we threw it back into the. Well, we didn't throw it. Mary dove it way deep,
Oh yeah,
so
it
that
was
it'll
creepy.
only
creepy
have the
place.
Balrog for company. And then we went to the Swerfneblin village and learned that there was a beholder that was in between us and our next point on our journey. So we hung out there for a nice, relaxing long rest, and then we visited Arnax the Beholder, who sounded remarkably like Eddie Deason. And we learned, after giving the Beholder some gifts, that we need to use the threads to open the Gate of Lolth. When the gate is opened, we have to destroy the threads by using universal solvent on them, purple worm venom, and hollowing the ground in the abyss in a minute, which is faster than the spell can hollow, so we will have to do something else. In order to get out of the gate, we realized that if I was going to be able to cast plane shift, I was going to need a forked metal rod. So we know that we have to go shopping in the near future. And what am I forgetting? Anything else from
No,
the
I
rest of
think
the
you've
party?
gotten it from my perspective, but anybody else?
Okay. We gave him a cape from Snur, the comb and hairpins, and the armor from a Drow High Commander, and Mary gave him a seed, which he is going to grow into a small bonsai, caretaking in the style of Xanathar's goldfish.
That's right.
That's all I got.
I hope you guys run into Armax again. He'd really like to see you. Also, has anybody got any eye drops? I'm getting a little glassy eyed. It's all the mic and its spores.
Nice.
Okay, so you guys were walking away from that. I don't remember the route you were taking. but there
I think
is.
we said we were going to go up to Snurfliblin and then head toward. Were we going to Excise House or is the Gathra?
Well, the excise house was supposedly easier for us to sneak through
Yeah, that
than
was
the
what the
checkpoint.
Swerfniblin advised.
I didn't have that in my notes.
Yeah. So we'll see some more Smurf niblets, and then hang a right
Smurf-
toward
Smurf
the exercise,
niblet? Got
the
the
exercise
Smurf
house.
All right. So for the journey, and I'm going to take a page from Monty Cook's Stealing Stories from the Devil, and say we're only going to roll for things that matter. And so uh, you are going down a now. This is a tertiary corridor through the Snurfneblin. You're fairly certain that this is not traveled by any Drow patrol. Unlikely to have any sort of uh, visitors or anything else. You may run into some Snurfneblin, but you have already made sort of a, I don't know, treaty's not the word, but you have good relations with the Svervneblin of the Underdark. Uh, Anything that you wish to do on your 3-mile journey to the northwest?
Newbin, after meditating for a little while, says, I have a desire to learn a new weapon and master it. Does anyone have a spear I could use?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Fantastic.
It's magical. I hope that doesn't hurt anything.
Definitely not.
Well, here you go. It's a +2 spear.
Do I just grab a regular old +2 spear from
You can
regular old?
you can
Yeah.
you can just type in spear into equipment and just pull the +2 version of it onto your sheet, or equip it.
That's Tony. You got a magic item, and all you had to do was ask.
I know, right?
And I got to take something off of my sheet.
I just got to figure out where to add it now. Good Lord. There's so much going on these things. Inventory, that's where it is.
Yep, that's the one. You are, however, in like a 4-foot wide, sometimes widening out to 6 or 7 feet.
You want to hold that pointed forward and back, not side to side, or you'll get stuck.
Oh, that is good information. Thank you.
And this is not easy going, but anything else you guys wish to do? Okay.
No.
Seeing none, you arrive at another sort of small opening. The pathway has been getting shorter and shorter. Merryweather first has some trouble walking upright, and then to the point where even I've in my head Robes is the shortest of you guys. To the
Really?
Yeah, I've always
That's
drawn.
not how I think of it at all.
I've always drawn him as slightly shorter than even Vela, who's the next shortest in my head.
Oh, I think of Elva as the shortest one for
I
some
think
reason.
Elva's not tall.
Oh, okay.
In my head, Elva looks like a 13-year-old girl.
But she's 20 something, right?
She's
Like,
27.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just telling you what she looks like in my head. It doesn't have to be right.
She's not tall, but
No.
she's like 5'3", 5'4".
Very petite.
Okay, that's shorter than shorter than.
But
Rose
also
in my
like
head.
Ripped.
Yeah.
I mean, with her con and strength, she's a brick shit house. But
She's as easy to jump over as run around.
yeah, which is neither, because she will catch you.
Yeah, that's true. She's what, Sentinel?
It's like a metaphor.
Yep.
If they can't go over her head, she'll catch them.
So I guess Robespierre, then Elva, even have to get sort of even. I mean, Mary's probably on hands and knees at the end here, uh, as it's almost an Alice in Wonderland sort of, and you're kind of expecting it because you know you're going to a Svirfneblin place, and you know that their gates are really small. Uh, so eventually you're at a hole, uh, a little cavern, and you know that there's guards probably on the other side, but they are hiding. Uh,
Um,
and you're also single file.
hello? I'll just call out
Oh,
a
hello.
greeting.
Okay. Uh, who who's out there?
Elva Willowspark, I've come from the other Swiftnibbling camp. I can't remember the gentleman's name that sent us this way. But
Papa Nerf Niblin, wasn't it?
No.
Papa Snurf.
I actually don't
But
remember.
Elva would remember his name because
Yeah,
it was
and,
just a couple days ago. But
yeah, it was not even a couple days ago. It would have been like a day and a half. Yeah. Well, a couple days. Yeah, sure. Okay, a couple days ago. So, for sure. Uh, uh, give a just a. There's a little bit of hesitancy. I'm not going to ask for a check. After some negotiations, you guys are permitted in, and you have a very similar type kind of uh, conversation with the people of this camp as well, where they are uh, a little guarded around you, but also hopeful. You have a big sense of like, all right, when these biggins go in, that's when we're going to strike with all of our, uh, you know, trebuchets. Uh, but if you guys can, disrupt enough stuff in Aralai Kinlu, we can go in and really f shit up. Is what you can
I do
pick up.
think we were thinking that we were going to go in and sort of not necessarily stir all that much shit up. It was more of a just sort of be in the city sort of thing at first.
Sure, sure.
We're not openly attacking right away. That seems foolish as there are 5 of us and it's a whole city.
No, no, no. I get what you're saying. We get what you're saying. Hear me out. There are 5 of you. You're very strange, and you have, if we've heard a little bit of tell of things that I mean, fought some giants, uh, destroyed some giant kingdoms, or at least one that you like straight up destroyed, uh, and have been kind of creating a bit of chaos in your wake as you've been coming up here. So, we have some hope.
Well, I'm disappointed to learn that it's been that well known.
Eh,
Sort of ruins the whole sneaking thing.
well, hear me out. Only know because, of the network. I don't know that everybody in in Isle Serves or any of the other houses know. But those of us who are in the network, we know. And you remember you met those 2 spies that gave you the updated map that you have now, and uh, they're part of the uh, the Shalagala sort of group of people who work the to disrupt the Isle Serves agenda. So, you know, we know who you are. I don't know that necessarily the enemy knows who you are.
That's better.
I mean, I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying. I only know because my brother was down in the southern Svirfneblin uh, uh, fortress. We're calling them fortresses now. And he had mentioned that he had heard something from these two spies when they were on their way to the Drow hideout Shalagala and to look out for you guys. So, we kind of know who you are. But nobody said a word.
I hope that's true.
Also, the Myconids know.
And they'll talk to anybody.
I know they really are blabbermouths. It's kind of like once it's in a myconid colony, it spreads everywhere.
Well,
Which is a strange expression for beings with no mouths.
right, but they don't talk to just anybody.
They don't actually talk to anyone.
No, but I mean, well,
That's the weird thing. They tell everyone everything, but they don't actually talk to anyone.
Well, they communicate in their own way.
Yes, but that ruins the joke.
It does. You're right.
The last I had some contact, I mean, maybe there's some confusion in the ranks because, they thought I was some sort of prophetess of love. So maybe even if some people are talking,
We
the
hadn't heard
the
that
message
bit.
could be confused.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I don't know that that's true because I had not heard that you were being.
I'm not. No, but that's what they thought.
Okay, no, I appreciate the clarification. But we that could help though. Like there could be lots of different stories going around. Some people say, you're escorting a prophet, prophetess, however you want to.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what word they used.
I don't either.
I don't need it to be gendered, but
Yeah.
Some people call you a space cowboy. Some call you the gangster of love.
All important.
Some people call you Merryweather.
Call me a space cowboy.
Some call me the Oh, now that's in my
But
head.
I guess the point that Elva's making, we would prefer to be able to get in without being noticed. That's probably our best bet.
So there are some folk who know a little bit about what you've done that are down here, and then there are some folk who think you're a prophetess of the state religion of Aralai Kinlu, and there are some people who are not going to know you from anybody.
Right.
Huh.
And that's our target audience.
Well, I can tell you when you go into the vault, one of the first places you'll get to is a checkpoint, and not really any way around that. It's called the Black Tower. Once you get to the Black Tower, I mean, you can try to bypass it, but there's nowhere to hide that's not within visual of the tower, and uh, if you're caught in the vault without having checked in there, you won't have the right tokens. Because the tokens that get you through the road here, you have to turn them in at the Black Tower, and then they give you vault tokens.
Maybe we can come up with a alternate mode of transportation. Ever try riding the wind?
I have not, but maybe your friends have. I don't get out much.
I
myself.
think we have yet, but maybe it would help us. We'll have to figure that out along the way.
Is that being clouds?
There's a spell called Wind Walk. It lasts like 8 hours, and basically we turn into clouds.
Yeah.
So
They're
I don't
doing
know.
that in Critical Role right now
Oh,
on Ruidus. That's the only reason I know that spell because I've never played high enough level to to know these spells. Okay. Well,
because we haven't been picking up the tokens really.
well, I think you guys do have the tokens, right? Didn't you that's what Newman traded the bolt of cloth for?
Yeah, but we haven't. If he's saying we need 8 tokens from every checkpoint,
No,
we don't have that.
No. All the ones on the route getting into the vault is the same token. Once you get into the vault, you have to swap out the root token for
Gotcha.
a vault token.
I totally misheard what you
Yeah,
said. It made it
sorry.
sound like
Oh no no
like
no
we have to pick up, tokens along the checkpoints.
no, you're good.
So while that conversation was happening, Newbin is trying to figure out a way to creatively ask a question, and he's just barely, with this new spear he's got, poking Mary just barely in her butt.
Now why? Why would you be doing that? What
I'm
about how I'm standing here makes it look like I want to be poked with a spear?
I was just trying to see what the reach on this spear was. Is it 5 feet or 10 feet?
Let's see what the reach of my arm is, Newbin, and we'll do a little bit of comparison.
That's funny.
And I'm legitimately asking all of you, what is the reach on a spear? I can't find it.
It doesn't have reach beyond. It's just like any other weapon.
It's a 5
Okay,
foot.
got it.
Does not have reach.
So I can't
Okay.
smack you in the face because you're close enough.
They
Damn.
they did do something either in
It's about as far as Mary's arm.
in Tasha's. I think they did say that you can make a reach weapon spear. I know that because there were a lot of people really angry because the spear is actually a really great weapon and it's totally nerfed in D&D.
Yeah.
And so I think they said you can actually make it have reach now, but I think we'll just go with it. Play
I'm
it
good
standard.
with it being regular. I was just
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
And I thought that would be a funny way to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think its biggest benefit in rules as written is that it has the throne capability as well.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got plans.
Cool. So if you guys are looking for any provisions, they are happy to provision you. It's the same weird. I mean, I don't know if you guys have even tried eating, but it's not bad tasting, but it is heavy on the fungus and then sort of the meat eating is a little bit gelatinous, but it's salty, savory. If you want to partake of any of the food they have to offer, it's kind of like mushrooms wrapped in moss with like some kind of jerky, like gelatinous meat. So it's no longer gelatinous, but you can tell it once was. So,
Gross.
but
See,
Like
you've got me thinking about.
dehydrated schmaltz, meat fruit roll-ups.
yeah,
I'm picturing that last bit of turkey after Thanksgiving that's got all that jelly that's congealed around it.
that's exactly what it is, except for it's been dehydrated.
And it's probably overcooked a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a little rubbery, but it is full of nutrients and fats and things that a growing body needs, or an adventuring body. But
Ooh.
otherwise,
The concept of growing between a gnome and the rest of us might be a little different.
it's true.
They don't have to do as much of it.
No. But there's very little sun down here, so everything's a little weird
So
how
These
energy
people
is
are
transferred.
gnomes?
Yes,
They're deep gnomes, yeah.
So Smurf niblets are gnomes, huh?
correct. They are
Tiny-
the
tiny
deep
critters.
gnomes. And you can play a deep gnome.
Yeah,
I believe,
Sir
yeah.
Nivelin is a playable race.
Yep.
Cool.
Anyway, they are happy to house you for the night if you wish. Otherwise, you guys could move on. But it's not. I mean, I guess it would be towards the end of one of your days by the time you got there. Days and nights are sort of weird because the moths don't turn off on any kind of diurnal cycle or anything like that. It's just always slightly glowing purple throughout. So you guys have been down here for like 2.5 weeks now. You haven't seen the sun in 2.5 weeks.
I mean, That
Well,
that's
we've had daylight cast though.
That's
yeah.
that's true. So,
And if I would have any um spell slots like before going to bed, like
yeah,
we would have like the little light boxes to
sure,
get our
Yeah,
vitamin D,
I have
sure,
one of
kind
those.
of put that out there.
yeah. Well, nice. All right, you guys stave off a little bit of seasonal affective disorder in the Underdark.
You know where you can live that you don't need one of those?
Texas.
Hmm. Not the Underdark,
Georgia,
Fascist states.
North Carolina,
the sun.
Northern
You
Virginia.
could live on.
Just because it has lots of light doesn't make it a good place, Tony.
It does.
Sunlight doesn't do near enough disinfecting.
Just remember, it's sunny place, shady people, not the other way around.
That's, I guess, true.
Well, Wisconsin's a shady place and there's sunny people here, so that works.
Also shady people.
Yeah, I mean Wisconsin's
Yeah,
good.
there's shady people everywhere.
Yeah. All right.
But
So
are they running your state?
yes, in the
Yes.
legislature.
Got it.
Mostly due to gerrymandered maps.
Really entirely due to.
Yeah, almost actually. Yeah. Well, we could talk about that in our other stream, which is MidwesternPolitics.com. That's probably really a site, and I don't know anything about them. That's not an endorsement. Okay.
Bleedingheartland.com is the one I know of.
Yeah, that'd probably be pretty good. Uh, So, you guys can take a long rest there, or you can mosey on. What do you guys want to do? Are you in a hurry, or would taking a long rest?
Who's playing me right now? Somehow Nubin just cast Insight and rolled a 25.
I did not. I had your
No,
character
I-
sheet open
that
at one
was-
point.
That was
13
13 days
ago.
ago, 22 hours ago.
Oh,
You
Nobody
cast
has-
that on Arnex.
Nubin is the only sheet that I can't roll on, so it wasn't me.
I think what happened, I had rolled before we started just to see what my hit points would be, and then I just deleted it because I was like, that doesn't need to be there. So it might have made it look like yours was the
that could be.
last one.
I don't know that I have any reason that we need to stay the night or stay for a long rest.
Yeah, I
If-
don't
if
think we
we're not
did a
feeling
whole
tired.
lot. Yeah.
We walked 3 miles here. It was only like a mile to get to the Beholder, right?
Yeah, and I mean, all that lore took
Only been
longer
like
than
5
the way I
miles.
did it. But yeah, you've only walked 5 miles. It's probably dinner timey.
I mean, I guess I would rather stay here if we are going to get exhausted before we can get to a next place where we're guaranteed a long
Mhm.
rest. Like, if it made sense to start fresh, like, then I would rather stay here than head out and then try to rest in a few hours. But
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would ask them what their if they go to Excise House, if there's like spaces along the way where they know, like if we don't make it to Excise House, is there a good space to stop along the way, or does it make sense to stay here and then walk to Excise House in one day? How long is that journey for them?
Well, you move a little faster than we do. Yeah, I mean, it's 7 miles away. Um, I don't know. You could probably make it. I mean, you're gonna go a little slower through our tunnel until you get to the main tunnel. You want to be careful there. Don't go west. They got the mind flayers out there. Um, if you
I'm pretty good with directions. I don't think we'll
Okay.
make that mistake.
just when you get to the crossroads, though, they're they're squirrely, so they might show up in that area. So keep your eyes open when you get to the larger tunnel there. And then the excise house. That's it's one of the last places run by a house. Paul is blanking. 1 second, please. one of the last major Drow checkpoints still run by House Despana. Uh, that doesn't mean much, really. Uh, most of the Drow don't have much of a thought about anybody else except for the other Drow. Uh, but Despana's a little bit more commerce oriented. They're not as into the religion, if you get what I mean. So uh, that's why you were probably told to go that way instead of up to checkpoint Exgathra. Also, we've heard some weird things about Exgathra, so uh, just probably best to bypass that if you can. New person in charge. Things have gotten weird. Excise House probably your best bet.
Who's the new person in charge?
Oh, well, near as our intel can tell, is a sort of uh, up and coming lieutenant, which is low rank for heading up a major checkpoint. But guess everybody listens to what she has to say, and she doesn't always, I guess, make sense or make good decisions. So there's a little bit of chaos in there, and not the normal sort of infighting, who's got power, etc., etc. Sort of like it feels like everybody got, and he's gonna like drop some name of a liquor, and they'll explain that it's a liquor, and you get the story spills out, and it sounds like maybe everybody in there started getting really drunk, um, but the discipline's gotten really weird in there, and all seems to go back to this Lieutenant Xgathra. So I don't know, weird, strange, but if you can avoid it, probably best.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound like something we would seek out, does it?
Uh, yeah, I don't know why you would, but good for you to know because she's sort of expanding influence. So I would keep your keep your head up, your eyes around when you're walking past that area because the patrols are going out. I mean, they don't look like they're in great shape. They look like emaciated when they come out of there. But um, just when you're in that vicinity, a couple miles of it, just maybe keep your eyes open. Don't want to deal with that weirdness if you don't have to.
Do you have any tips for what happens if we do see them? Like, are there right answers to their questions so that we can pass without worry?
Thus far, we have avoided them.
So no.
No tips. Don't have anything I can tell you. Just it's you ever see somebody who's been on like a 3 week bender, like just did nothing but drink and carouse and live a wild time, have a lost weekend or four, and then
This, this sounds like fun.
kind of zombified afterwards? It sounds like there's a
Well, see,
just
and that's the thing I'm trying to read between the lines here is if it is just people having way too much free time and partying, or if it's like truly zombies or some unnatural kind of thing. It's hard to get a sense of that from what you're telling
and
us.
and we haven't we once we started hearing the rumors that this woman has kind of created this party place, and then we saw the people coming out of it. We haven't really wanted. We don't have to go in there, and so we just haven't. But
Hmm.
rumors are she's in charge now. So
We'll
Is she
definitely
drow?
keep our eyes peeled.
That's what we were told.
Okay.
We've never met her. We don't go there.
Right. I got
Yeah.
that part. I just wasn't sure.
We don't go into the excise house either, though. Just to be clear, you know, Svervneblin are kind of considered outlaws, so uh, we kind of be,
You're outlaws?
yeah, we'd be sort of taken on sight, you know. So, I mean, there are gnomes that we have we have friends from up top. A couple of us have relatives who are surface gnomes who have been bringing us things. Uh, and even they're getting watched, so they've been sticking to the side tunnels and trying to avoid going through the checkpoints if they can. So, but you won't see Sverfneblin hanging out in any of the checkpoints. No. That's why we kind of make it hard to get in here. If you're not our height, you're gonna get. We have a sort of a shooting advantage at our doorways.
We appreciate that you didn't shoot us.
Oh yeah.
It's different when you enter with a fire elemental.
Well, this
We
time I
didn't do
was
that this time.
no, I was just trying to be my own self,
Nice. Well,
which was
appreciate
still a bit
meeting the
difficult.
real you. But you know, uh, good luck to you, and we're gonna keep an ear to the ground. See if you guys. I mean, I know you don't want to start any chaos, but if you do, we want to pay attention, not miss an opportunity. Well, all right. Good luck to you.
And you as
Thank
well.
you.
Thanks. Appreciate it. We don't get told good luck very often. All right. So, they get back to doing what they're doing, which is mostly preparing for like strikes on, caravans and other stuff. So, you guys are here. Uh, you have, at the crossroads here, you need to be a little mindful for Illithid. And then the excise house is run by House d'Espana. And you know, once you get to around here, there may be some weirdness emanating from Checkpoint Exgothra. Maybe not. You don't know. So,
Dyspania. Do we know how to spell that?
you will now.
I have it in my head with a tilde on the end.
There should
On the
be
end.
there should be an Enya.
Enye.
Enye. Thank you.
Dyspania.
Enya would be if we were going to do the Orinoco flow.
Warblers.
Yeah. If you would wanted to sail away, sail away, sail away. And the pitchy flow instead of the Orinoco flow. Okay. So, I did not know how to do that. Okay.
I figured you could copy and paste it then.
There you go.
In case you wanted.
So, what do you guys want to do? The exit is much like the entrance, so you'll have to crawl out. And
So I guess like I was saying before, whether we leave tonight or right now or rest just kind of depends on. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of guaranteed spots to rest between here and where we're going. So I guess I would vote we leave after a rest. Just so
They hang out, see if they can sell us anything. See if they know where to get universal solvent or a tuning fork.
Right. No, that's all right
They're
with me.
gnomes. They're deep gnomes. Maybe they mine things and make
They
tuning
are.
forks.
We know that they're something of tinkerers, or at least work with tinkerers. Perhaps they have. Perhaps they do have that sort of thing.
They do not have universal solvent. Uh, that is somewhat difficult to come by. Uh, and but they are aware of it, and they are gonna, sort of say, um, so you're supposed to destroy something with it, or no, you don't. You didn't tell them that. What do you guys need it for?
Just important to have that sort of thing on hand.
It's
Just to get
universally useful.
one of those like glues that don't come off. I've heard those things exist too. That
Sovereign glue.
Sovereign glue.
get
Yeah.
stuck and can't get it off. So we like to be prepared.
You glue your fingers together once, and you're
Mhm.
going to be prepared ever onward.
Best use of sovereign glue ever was in Critical Role. And by the way, um, uh, with the dildo
Thanks for that.
being glued to a person's hand.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
So funny.
Anyway, um, uh, although a little bullying, honestly, but still funny. Um, okay, so they do not have any. They, well, no, you can find just about anything, and like, what? Wait,
At Alice's restaurant?
grandma, and they go get grandma, whose name for this purpose is now Alice. And you once were in Ellery Kinlu. Oh, yeah, many years ago. Uh, it, did, what sort of? I mean, could you get things there, like magical items? And oh, there's everything in Ellery Kinlu. Everywhere is dangerous. Everyone there is out for themselves. You won't find any friends there. Not friends you can trust, anyway. I'd call it a wretched hive of scum and villainy, but it's been overdone.
It's probably trademarked at this point.
Hmm. Oh, are you having tea? And then she'll just sit down and have some tea. But now they don't have anything that they can give you, unfortunately. But you can have the rest, and on the morning, you guys can head out.
Can they
like.
formulate the tuning fork? Can they create something?
A tuning fork that would be pitched to this world, right? Like it has to. You have to pitch it, right?
Attuned to a particular plane of existence.
And how does that happen? Does anybody know?
That's a good
Tuned
question
to-
for the DM.
All right.
Tuned to a place of existence.
So you need a 240.
The book is
It's a little vague on that.
unclear.
Okay.
It doesn't say a damn thing.
Okay.
It's not a little vague.
It just says a tuning fork that is
It's a lot vague.
That is tuned.
That is attuned to a plane of existence.
Gotcha. How much does the tuning fork have to cost?
$250.
I mean, we could make a tuning fork out of any kind of raw steel you have, but it wouldn't cost you 250 gold. I am trying to think of what kind of metal would be a 250 gold worth item. I could make it out of.
I suppose if we melted down 25 platinum pieces.
Well, we could do that. How long you got? It'd take us a good couple hours to.
Oh, we're planning to sleep here overnight.
Oh, so you'd like us
We've
to
got more than a couple hours.
work? Okay. Yeah. Well, let's take you over to the forge. These folk are gonna screw up Arroweye Kinlu. Um, gonna create a big ruckus and create a whole lot of trouble.
While we're walking, I'm gonna turn. I only have 25 platinum. Does anybody have more platinum? I have gold.
I
Well,
do.
25 platinum is exactly the amount that you need
I have
to make
12.
something worth. Oh,
Oh, I
You
thought you
said
said
25.
you
25.
said
Sorry.
25.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I have 25
14.
gold coins to my name.
I have 14 platinum. I can give those to you. That
That
gets
would be
us.
just enough. Yeah. Okay. And I'll give you.
Well, we
and-
have plenty of platinum in the bag.
As
Okay,
long as
good.
I've been in the group, I've never made a penny.
Would you like to make a penny?
I don't need it.
Okay. Well, I mean, we could use a copper piece and then you could use it on the forge and then you would literally make a penny.
Are you just taking
That
the
doesn't seem worth the labor.
25 out of the bag then? Or
Yeah.
is that.
If everybody's okay with that, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just going to take
Yeah.
25 out of the bag.
Okay.
Okay.
They start melting it down. They stop making these. You can see that like there's glass blowers, who are making tiny beads, glass beads, and then you see a gnome with goggles who's mixing a bunch of fluids together and saying some incantations and is making what look to be little shot that you've seen before. So
Nice.
uh,
When there's I'm gonna watch that one very closely and hope to connect with them when they are at a pause point that doesn't look like me interrupting them will blow the place up.
okay. Well, they start. They because some of what happens is they dip the glass then in a thin sheathing of like a brittle metal alloy that they've made, which is why it looks like little metal shot to you guys. Uh, but they stop that and they start clearing out their what is that called? The brazier. What do you melt stuff in? The smelting pot or whatever it is.
Crucible.
Crucible is the word I was looking for.
Crucible.
Thank you. And so they're clearing that out of whatever that alloy is and getting ready to add your platinum into it. And as they do that, the two are like, well, I guess we're taking 10, and so they stop working on the glass blowing, and you can see that they've taken off their gloves, putting down the tongs, put down the
I'm
tongs.
just gonna go over and we're working with your colleagues and we're working on making a metal tuning fork that is attuned to a particular plane, specifically this one. I noticed that you're doing numerous incantations, and I'm wondering if you happen to have any idea about attuning a tuning fork to a plane.
Oh no, I just blow things up.
Okay.
That's my specialty.
Okay.
I'm a demolitions agent.
Excellent. Okay.
Have you met
Thank-
Armax?
Why?
You sound incredibly similar.
Maybe grew up in a
That's
similar
cool.
area.
And the person who's his partner is just like rubbing her ears and just like every day she has to deal with that. So no help
Okay.
on that front. But they can make you the tuning fork, and so a couple hours go by, and you are now in the possession of a 250 gold piece tuning fork made of platinum.
Yeah.
Did you want a particular note?
Yes. I would like E
Okay.
and then I would like it to be. Nope, that's not what I want. Not E.
Maybe we just sit here and see what note this plane of existence kind of evokes in us.
Well, I was gonna say E because I want the ethereal plane, but that's not actually what I want. I want this plane, which is the material plane, and
I
there's
think
no
Mary's
M
right.
note.
I think we have to sit quietly and listen to what tone the world makes.
Okay.
You can make.
My passive investigation is super high,
Or
so I
you
probably can hear it without even having to think about it.
could make.
What are you going to have to manipulate in order to do this? Because if it's an investigation, it involves manipulation of things.
Not necessarily.
No, it does.
Sometimes I look under the bed without manipulating anything.
That's still a manipulation of the world by getting down to look under.
That's Schrodinger
Mhm.
right there.
I'm opening my ears to this note of the universe.
That's
I'm
perception.
But
And
that's
I
no
am
different than
going
looking
to
under the
say
bed.
that it doesn't actually have to do with either of those things. You can make an Arcana or a Religion check, your choice.
No. Yeah. Sure.
Because you're trying to actually magically imbue this thing with.
Anybody else helping?
With Arcana or religion, sorry, I'm more of a nature
No help
gal
in either of those.
myself. Maybe Robespierre. Is
Yeah,
he good
wait.
at either of those things?
I think
He's a warlock. He knows
I
magic.
think he's got Arcana.
Nope.
He does not.
But-
He has neither.
He does not.
He also
Nope.
worships a lot of things, so maybe he's good at
Yeah.
religion.
He's not. Tony, no? No proficiency in Arcana or religion?
Nope, I have a +2, but there's no proficiency.
All right.
Those are intelligence-based things.
I'm going to do
Sorry.
this today, and then tomorrow morning,
Okay.
I might try again. So,
All right. The DC I had set was 8.
Well, I was rolling a wisdom check because when it got real quiet, if I rolled really poorly, Elva was humming. Elva is definitely humming.
Okay.
do I have to roll a disadvantage now?
No, because the DC was 18,
Oh, okay.
and it's going to go up every time you try it by 1. So
Okay.
you're either going to need to get a way of getting some information to reduce the DC to
Or
help
do
you.
a guidance on yourself next time you do something so that you get a bonus.
Do I have guidance?
I don't know.
Have someone
Oh, yeah, I
let
sure
Elva know
do.
that she's humming.
You're a cleric. A lot of times clerics
Yeah, I have guidance. Yeah. I just don't think I've ever used it.
But this would have been a good time.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Mm,
I don't have guidance. Otherwise, I would have helped you.
All right. Well, you felt like you were getting there, and then all of a sudden you hear this sort of like that time you were in the Fey, there was sort of this hum that you heard in the Feywild, and you hear this sort of similar humming tune. You look over, and Elva's just humming to herself as you're trying to hear the sounds of the world, and just can't localize it. You can't find the tone of the material plane.
is there a chance we could come back to adjust the note tomorrow? Still?
We'd have to heat it back up, and
I could pay you. I mean, that's not a problem.
okay. Cost you a full gold.
Okay.
Man, I made a
Where
gold.
is the where is the thing? I can change my thing once a day, I thought.
Are you guys taking the long rest?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And no other things else you want to do this before you take a rest?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh,
Unless you're trying to do something there, Dusty.
I am. I was trying to find it in my sheet. I'm going to. Would it be easier for me to do it today or tomorrow for us to work on the tuning? Does it matter for you with your workload tomorrow?
No.
No me person. Okay. Then I'll just do. Well, let's do it this afternoon because I can, after a short rest, I can use Whispers of the Dead to change my proficiencies, so I can give up one proficiency and gain a different one.
You guys are already in early evening.
So I could Well, that's why I asked if the gnome
Okay.
person was okay with me trying
Okay.
tonight still.
You said later this afternoon, and I'm like, the afternoon's gone. So.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I just was thinking like I could do it tomorrow, but then we're waiting and burning daylight, so to speak,
Okay.
from our travels. So if I can do it tonight, I'd rather do it tonight. So I will
Take a short rest.
take a short rest, and
Okay.
I will change my proficiency to Arcana, I guess. That should help. And then I'll try rolling again. Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Oh man,
You have
No.
3
that's
rerolls.
unfortunate.
And
I think
And I didn't use guidance.
I know.
and
I
you
whispered
didn't, I
it.
was gonna say and you didn't use guidance, but your guidance is not gonna get you to 19. Now you're at 20. So do you
Right.
want to use a reroll?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
And I probably can't use guidance because I'm already rerolling.
You can use guidance.
Okay, well then I'll give myself guidance. Guidance. When I think about you. Nope. Guidance does what?
You
Plus
add a D4.
D4. Situational bonus 1. D4. Go.
Just got it.
Nice.
Well, actually, no, you didn't just get it because it was still at 19.
Because I rerolled
Yeah, because
it.
you
Yeah.
rerolled it. It was 19. Okay. So before before he reforges it, you realize that there's an overtone. So you need E was the correct like pitch, but the way this has to be done is it has to actually have a harmonic. And so you work with the smith so that it does an activation harmonic. And you now have a tuning fork that is attuned to the material plane.
I give him a platinum for his trouble.
Okay. Whoa! This is 10 times more than what we'd agreed upon.
But you did 10 times better than I expected.
Well,
Or 1/25th of the way toward another tuning fork.
That too.
I can't argue with your math. So, wow, this is a great day. And he starts smelting it. He's got ideas.
The platinum?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, he's going to turn it into something for the alchemists to use.
I'm going to subtly leave behind another one at the
Okay.
desk before I leave.
At the desk? What are you guys in a hotel?
Where, wherever as you leave, some table in
Okay.
the...
We're
Yeah.
going to leave it
with
with
a-
the concierge.
With the concierge here.
the blacksmith concierge.
Yep.
All right, you leave another on the workbench, and he's not looking, and off you guys go, right?
Yeah, because I think that was a
Oh
short
no,
rest,
you're gonna
so we
now
can
you
go to
long
bed.
rest. You're gonna long rest, and then
Mhm.
the next morning you guys awake, and you are heading. So. All right.
So to sum up what we learned there, we learned that Sagathra runs creep patrols from their party town, and House Despania runs excise, and we need tokens to get into Errol Kinlu.
You have tokens. You all have tokens, I believe.
Yeah,
but
but we
you
need different
have-
tokens
You
for.
have to turn those in when you enter the vault. No one has.
I believe we are short 1 token
Oh.
because Mary was an animal.
I think we stole a spare because
Okay.
Mary was a prophetess.
Yeah, I got a
So she has
fancy
the
one, and I
fancy one.
stole one as a cat, so I've
Yeah.
contributed at least 2 to the
Two.
party.
Well, and
Yeah.
Elva got one because she just walked through the gate and checked in at the first place.
Right.
And I think Nubin got one as well.
And there was
So,
poop somewhere. There was poop involved in some
well,
way.
I stole one as a cat,
Right.
and
But
then
it
ate
wasn't pooped
popped
up,
it
it was
up as an
puked up.
owl.
Right.
So
She
Oh,
owl
it
pelleted
right.
never was pooped out. It was
Right.
pelleted.
Right.
And then
So we turn in the tokens from in the to get into the vault in
at the
Excise?
black tower in Erlai Kinlu,
Okay, that was the part I was missing.
which I have not said this to you before, but you would have picked this up. Erlai Kinlu is a city inside what is actually the vault of the Drow. The vault is a massive, massive, multi-miles wide, or in circumference really, or in diameter, cavern that has a city inside the cavern as well as surrounding wilderness in this vault. So
That is helpful because when you say vault, I think bank vault. So I've
Yep.
always pictured the vault in the city, not the city in the vault.
yes,
So
Yep, me too.
and
I
So
think
there's a
that makes
ring
a
of
lot more sense.
a ring of trees, wilderness. You said,
not a ring of
and then
trees.
oh, okay,
There is
wilderness.
wilderness, and I am
That is
specifically
not
not
trees.
using the term trees.
Got it.
And you don't know more
Vault
than
of
that, but I will say
Vault of the metaphor for cavern.
the vault, they control 100% this area. It is basically it's the capital homeland that has a city inside of it, but that it's like a city state with a surrounding area. So Erlai Kinlu is like the capital of the Drow, and then they, like Athens, would have controlled many miles around the city of Athens. The vault is the area that is
The greater metropolitan area
correct.
of Erlai Kinlu is
it-
what we know as the vault.
It's the Erlai
Okay.
Kinlu metropolitan statistical area.
Got it.
So
And
That
then
helps.
Black Tower is in the city, or is it in the vault?
it's in the vault before you get to the city.
Okay.
Oh.
And that's new information to you. You wouldn't have known that until
Enter
you
the
talked
Black
to this
Tower,
member.
not in Erlai Kinlu. The Black Tower in the vault before
Correct.
Erlai Kinlu.
Correct.
Got
And
it. I'm glad I asked.
did
I
not
would have been
did
really
not
confused.
share that with you earlier because it didn't come up, but then also I just actually got my head around it about a month ago, and it just never really until I drew the map, it didn't make any damn sense to me. So because they have a map in there and it's a 1979 map, and then I looked up other people's and then I redid it and I'm like, oh, that's why. So sorry that I haven't described that to you earlier, but you would have known it earlier. That's where we're at, and it hasn't harmed you not knowing yet. So
And the Black Tower is a place we need to go because it's like the passage into Erlai Kinlu.
the way
or-
the gnome will describe it to you is it's sort of like a cork in a bottle. Getting into the vault is not very narrow. It's like 100 feet across, but it's narrow compared to the rest of the vault. And when you walk through this narrow, in comparison, cavernway, and then it opens up into miles and miles and miles, you can't get past the Black Tower without being observed. Because the cavern is
Got it.
also miles high. So it's 1 mile up
It's
to the
Sauron.
roof. It's 1 mile up to the roof of the cavern. So there's a mesa that this tower is on inside the cavern.
Technically, wouldn't that be a cave then?
I don't know the difference between a cavern and a cave, personally.
I thought a cavern opened to the sky, but I could be wrong. Mary,
It
what the
probably-
hell is going on next to you?
It's her thumb. She's clicking a
Oh.
pen.
I'm just
Oh.
Oh,
sorry.
It looked
I'm
like a
what
cat.
do you mean?
Yeah, I thought it was.
It looked like
did
a
look-
cat.
No, I'm sorry. I just was.
I was like, what is that cat doing over there?
You scared me though, because I know where both my cats are, and when you said what's happening, I'm like, oh my god, I should be alone. You
It
know,
looked like a cat going.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was off
It
camera.
was
I didn't
almost. It was
distract.
just close enough to be out of focus and moving,
Oh,
Yeah.
just like the corner of your thumb, and so it was
It-
just like this weird furry kind of looking thing in the corner.
And it almost looked like
It's
you had
very funny.
another monitor over there, like there was something on TV, and I was like, what the hell is that?
no, just me fidgeting.
Sorry, it was very distracting there for a second. I was, as a visual, I was like, what the hell?
I think even if a cavern is open to the air, I think it sounds like the way you're describing it that it's not. It's what Texas Parks and Wildlife says. A cavern's just a type of cave.
Well, that's what Texas says. What does Florida say?
Hard to tell. They don't exist. There's no.
There's no
I've never
evidence.
seen one, so it doesn't exist.
That's right. And the Earth is flat. You can't go under flat. You'd fall down to the
Yeah.
to space. Anyway,
It's ironic that they all believe they're Christians too.
nice. Ouch.
Geologists say there's no difference between cave and cavern.
Okay. It's a
But they would
cave or
usually use
cavern.
it to identify a large group of chambers.
Okay, then it's not a cavern because it's not. It's one large, and large is not the term. It is
Gargantuan.
vast.
It's one might describe it as a cavernous opening.
Yes.
Cavernous
A
cave.
cavernous chamber within the cave. It's so large as you might describe it as cavernous.
Can you guys understand why I didn't try to describe it beforehand? I really didn't have my head around it, but basically, you are really several miles underground, and now you're so far underground that you're going into a cave opening that is so wide as it's almost got its own ecosystem. You're walking into a cave that is approximately like 2 miles to 3 miles in diameter. And inside of that is several things that you haven't seen and people haven't described to you. So I'm not going to tell you more than that, but I will say that the vault is this huge cavern, huge cave, huge opening that has a city inside of it. And then before you even get to the city, right as you come into this enormous cavern, there is a mesa that overlooks where you're walking into that can see almost all the way through the whole cavern. And it's called the Black Tower.
I see there's also a river that runs into it,
Yes.
which we can't necessarily access. Like, we have it on our map, but it doesn't look like there's any way to get to the river. But is that accurate too?
It
Like,
is. It is. And so, and it has been, I recently annotated it. It's called the Pitchy Flow.
Noted.
is it a river then, or is it something else?
It is a
Flow
river.
of pitch.
Yeah.
No,
Or
it
lava
is.
or-
It is a river, and if you guys are, I would say this was on your map, and immediately you could have shown it to any of the Snurf Double, and they would have said, "Yeah, that's a river. It's water." It actually flows into the Svartjet. And then there is an underground sea as well called the Sunless Sea.
Okay, so it's flowing out of the vault.
It does.
The river?
The pitchy flow does flow out of the vault.
Okay.
And the Svartjet it doesn't look like it on your map, but the Svartjet is the bigger river.
I thought it was the plane that the X-Men flew in. I'm very confused.
What is the... Isn't it the
The smart
Blackbird?
jet.
The Blackbird, right?
Who flew in the smart jet then? Was that Tony Stark?
Fantastic Four, I think.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know. All right. So, my question is when you guys leave in the morning is,
Wow.
what is your what? Sorry.
I've been trying to had my head around the size of a 3 mile in diameter cavern, and that is ever so very slightly smaller than the town of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
The
Like,
town or the
if
city
you
of Fond du Lac?
the city of. So if you like take 151 around and up to 23 across, it's basically what you're describing.
There you go.
So for Robin, that's helpful. A little bit maybe for Ed, but I figure I know Robin likes to have spatial cues. So I was like, oh, this is really helpful for me. I should share.
So it's a
from-
cavern. It's a cavern that Fond du Lac would fit in.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yep.
A little bit of spillover, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. And a mile up. So. Okay. So I was wondering if you guys would tell me what your marching order is going through the tertiary pathway that you're heading north to the crossroads.
No.
Okay.
So as we get
That
closer
answers
to
the
it-
question asked, not the one implied.
Go ahead, Robin. I'm sorry.
No, we're going to the excise house. Okay,
Yeah.
Nothing. Are we just walking up on it? Because first we are coming up where the illithid might be.
Right.
So I thought maybe we'd want to be stealthy,
That's
right?
That's up to you
As
guys.
we
Yep.
get closer to the crossroads.
Sure.
Would be my guess. Would be my recommendation. So if you want, I can cast the Pass Without Trace spell as we get closer to that. It only lasts, I think, an hour, so I wouldn't want to do it too far back. But then I would go kind of in the middle of the group. Otherwise, I tend to travel at the end. So this was trying to answer your question, Paul.
Gotcha.
It's just there's qualifiers.
I got it.
It was trying to answer the implied question, not the asked question.
I'm good either way. So,
Noob will go out front.
okay. We got Noob. And
How wide is the walkway that we're going through?
it's again
This one's-
the 4 feet to 6 feet.
This is a gnome tunnel, so real little.
Okay, so there's a couple times as we're walking through here where because Nubin's still practicing with his new weapon, so there's a couple of times where he actually runs into the spear because it gets caught on both sides. Just remember, he's not very wise.
Gotcha.
Like
Is
that
Meriwether's
moment
in
when the
middle,
snow
right?
shovel hits a curtain.
Right.
An important trait for a monk.
I am pretty wise, so I'm going to stay out of spear reach and stand in the middle of the group.
Who's going?
But you can actually still stand closer to Nubin than he thought you could.
Yeah, that's true. But this way, I'll keep everyone in the Pass Without Trace.
Pass without trace. Gotcha.
Mhm.
I'll go up by Nubin just for stealthing purposes.
Okay. And then bring it up
So
the
I
rear.
guess uncharacteristic, but Robes and I are in the back.
Okay.
I don't have to be up front. If I could be talked out of it. We feel like somebody else would be better up there.
I think that is all just fine.
Okay.
I feel like we're chaperoning you now, Vela, so we're going to make sure that you and Robes are separated going through this tight
Yeah, I
tunnel.
feel really uncomfortable now being between the two of you, but whatever.
You have to be up.
See.
You're up front with your guardian, Nubin. He's got his ward in tow.
Sorry, I'm gonna take a pause here for a second. Eleanor and I just started watching the live action Avatar on Netflix. Did anybody watch that cartoon?
I
Yeah.
saw the
Yeah, okay.
cartoon.
The cartoon, yeah.
The Cabbage Man in the live action, was beat for beat on. Like they recreated that cartoon scene with him. Not my cabbages. And I couldn't believe they did it. Like Eleanor and I were just pleased when it happened. Like a Cabbage Man. Anyway.
What
Okay,
I've
now
seen
you
of
need
it-
to explain why you're thinking of
Why?
cabbages
Yeah,
right
I
now.
know, right? I'm
What's
like,
the
where
train
does
of thought?
Um, the train of thought was a little bit of like, no, I'm not going to explain. uh, what I would like is for you guys to roll a stealth check. And you, of course, get your plus 10 for pass without trace.
Good thing.
For some reason, oh wait, there it is. I don't know how to add the plus 10 here all of a sudden.
There's a little pop up that says situational bonus. You can just
Oh,
type it in there.
just add. Oh man, that's with plus 11. Just add 10 to that.
Okay. So 24. Okay. All right.
Again, I just ran into my own spear. That's what happened.
Put the spear away, Nubin. Just put it away for now. You're gonna get us killed.
Fine. He puts it on another holster that he's made for another weapon.
That is also angled crossways across his back.
I have room for things like this in my quiver. I have a very special quiver. So put it away or I'll put it away for you.
That made I like that. All right.
Did someone roll for robes, Pierre?
Oh, Dusty can.
Sorry, on it. Oh, plus 40 is different. That would have gone differently.
Okay.
A lot of pretty poor rolls. Good thing we have the plus 10.
No kidding. There are some like low rolls.
You guys get to this point here, and assume you can look to the west, you can look to the east, um, and you can look north because this small gnome tunnel continues on. It's not as readily apparent as this larger path that's crossing from west to east here, but you do see you could, as the map indicates, could continue on north. Um, but you have to look for that. Um, but to the west, um, there's a sort of a like a slime on the ground uh, that is looks to be wet, and you haven't seen a lot of like moisture in the tunnels here. So heading west, there's sort of a slimy trail, and it does look like it's dragging towards the west.
We're going east though, right? Like that was the plan?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's correct.
All right. So what do you guys just gonna head out to the east?
If there's nothing that we see, maybe take a quick peek other than the slime, right?
I think Robes would lick it.
No, why would he go west and lick the slime when we were specifically told not to go west?
Oh, it's like it's not crossing our path in any way.
No.
Oh, okay. All right, then he wouldn't. You're right.
All right. You guys.
I thought it was crossing our path.
Head to the west. Um,
We
within.
head east.
Sorry, to the east. You guys head to the east. Sorry, I moved you east, but
Oh, okay.
but behind you, maybe quarter mile heading east. You now have room to move. By the way, it's 10-foot wide tunnel here. Not well maintained. This isn't a primary passageway, but it is wider and it is traveled, as you noted, with the slime, I guess. Um, but quarter mile east, and you hear like a rock fall behind, and it's like the shield on Elva. She's in the rear. The shield sort of the eye moves like pulling behind, and there's something behind you.
Passive perception is now 22.
I wondered if it went up because our
Yeah.
proficiency went up, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I also failed my dexterity stealth check, so I rolled
Our proficiency
I rolled
did
a
go
1.
up. Holy cow!
Yeah, that's
Yep.
big deals right there. So, uh,
That level's worth it now.
it's around the corner from you. You don't see anybody, but you definitely heard it, and you, with 22 perception, you feel like there's at least 6 humanoids behind you, and something else sort of squelching.
And does it sound like it is moving toward us?
It sounds like it pulled up short when it made the rock fall.
Okay. I will whisper that we have something coming up behind us, and it appears it was attempting to ambush us.
Do you want to go investigate? I can make you invisible.
I was thinking perhaps just calling out and letting them know we know they're there.
Meh. Mary could have heard that too, I assume.
Sorry, I'm trying to look something
Maybe.
up, and I don't want it to post, and so hold on. I'm trying to the sheets. I'm trying to be able to read a spell, and it's not like expanding for me. And I know that one of the
You
things
click
that
on the words, it doesn't spell. It doesn't show it to us. Click on the words and it should expand the description, and then it'll show a D20 there.
Right, it's not because the spell's updated tonight, and I think they broke it.
Oh,
Yeah,
some of mine still work.
It's weird. Mine seem to be okay.
Oh yeah, all of mine are fine, except there was one that didn't work, but I don't know.
Well, I can't even click the D20 and make it cast.
Oh.
Like I'm trying to make it cast in a private roll to myself. And
Well, I think it's unfortunate that your private roll still has an icon for what rolled it.
does it really?
Yeah, look in the chat.
Well, I mean, they all look gray to me, but it doesn't. Oh, look
No,
at Twitch.
Oh no, it's a picture of a very specific type of creature that we were told to watch out for here.
Mm-hmm. And then there's like a mystery picture right next to it, but like
Yeah.
when we all roll, there's like 2 pictures of us, so I don't know where it's pulling that from.
I think it's doing token art and then also sheet art.
Is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's doing 2 different ones in case you have 2 different art pieces.
There was one before though where Nubin, the one
was
that
like
was
super narrow.
Yes, and it called me like I was like, try not to laugh. I don't know why. I'm like, what is that? And it's like, oh, it's really squishy.
Elva and Nubin look like somebody made fake nails of them. And they're like press on nail Elva and press on nail Nubin.
Yeah. Anyway, I saw it before and I was trying not to giggle because something else was happening, and I'm like, nope, not gonna laugh. But anyway,
all right.
Since we're talking about it,
I guess I'll look in D&D Beyond. Nice job, Andre Watsy. All right.
Good of them to get involved and make everything work so much
worse.
Different.
Worse.
Yeah. All right. I need to know how this works.
We also still can't be surprised because I am still wearing Huffnungsvall.
Okay. They will not be able to surprise you. Okay. what I would like to know is what are the very surface thoughts you all are having right now? Because it doesn't appear that there's a save for the surface thoughts.
If it's the spell I'm thinking of, there is not. And Elva
True.
is thinking of violence right now.
Okay.
And sort of potentially avoiding the violence, but the violence is there.
Okay.
I'm concentrating on Pass Without Trace, so I think that means Mary's thinking about how to find the shadows and move as carefully and quietly as possible. I would interpret concentration as being,
Sure.
something I have to think about, right?
That makes sense.
I am passively investigating the location of Nuben's spear
Okay.
and its potential to do me bodily harm.
You're not worried at all about the call out that there's people behind you?
No, because I know that Nuben has been playing with a spear, and there's call out of people behind me, and so my first thought is going to be, is Nuben going to hit me with his spear as he whips his body around? Because he's got it in this weird holster thing that's not designed for a spear.
All right. Newman?
He's going to try.
Well, since there's been a call out of the people behind us, I'm starting to think about, okay, how can I defend us? Because if they're behind us, I'm also the furthest away.
Okay.
They definitely know that the person who's worried about defending them has a spear.
Okay.
Can you run up walls though? Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just kind of run
With
past the
with
cell?
Nuben's speed and ability to run on sheer surfaces, being at the back of the line really doesn't matter.
No,
Yeah, that's pretty
I'm
cool.
just starting to plot a path is all.
Okay. Robes?
Vela's very pretty.
Robes is thinking about licking that slime path again.
Yeah. Robes is thinking about whether or
Yeah,
not he
should have
should be
licked it.
making everything invisible or not. Yeah, that too.
All right.
Yeah, because didn't you just have Robe say, like, I could make you invisible if you want to check it out?
Yeah.
That's kind of, yeah.
All right. I would like Robes to make a wisdom saving throw. Oh, that's a fail. Um,
I don't think I like the way you said that.
Yeah.
all right.
I
So,
do like that now it has the name of the person below the roll. Like, because I rolled for Robespierre, it's showing that I'm the one that did the roll. So now when our Warbler crew gets a little bit
Slap
ADHD with
happy.
yeah.
their rolling, it will be obvious who's being a weirdo.
Um, so Robespierre now has something digging into his brain a little further.
Oh, he's got already lots of things digging into his brain. I feel like.
Yeah, which mine does it get into? Because
That
they're gonna end
Yeah.
up talking to the Weaver.
That's why they dug in. So, you will you will all psionically hear in your heads. This does not need to be a violent encounter. Meanwhile, Robes has sort of gone even more catatonic. We're just interested in a little information.
Sneaking up behind us is not a good way to begin that interaction.
You've been in the Underdark. Everything sneaks up on everything down here.
It's a good way to get yourself killed.
Walking straight forward and yelling out who you are is also a good way to get yourself killed here.
Not if you can defend yourself.
Some can some ways, some can other ways. We weren't
Say
really...
what you want to say, and we'll determine whether this needs to be violent or not.
Nice. I think we could just call it a day here, then.
While he's talking, I'm going to cast detect thoughts.
Okay. I guess then you are a bigger fish than we would like to bait. We'll be on our way then. You go yours.
Is that what I heard?
No, he's saying that to everybody. Uh,
Huh.
does he? Are you just trying surface thoughts, or are you actually trying to probe? Because that's the question. The surface thoughts that you're getting are, um, these. This is more than we can handle. These, they're too strong. Um,
I'm going to try to probe to figure out what they wanted, really.
okay. Um, go ahead. Well, I get to make a save. What's your DC?
Yeah, let me cast it quick. Sorry. I should have.
That's okay.
It's up near the top.
I imagine it's pretty high. So, holy craps. Okay. Um, I still don't see your DC 18.
18.
Okay.
You can just click on the button if you have the token highlighted, and then
Yeah,
it'll roll
I
it.
do know that, but I've already got my sheet open and I'm ready to go.
Hmm.
Oh, I fail. All right. Um, the uh, the one that you get into then snaps concentration on the other one, and they found her. She has her, and she is in him.
What?
Sounds like a Beatles song.
They,
I am me and you are me and we all
they
get together.
found her. What? They found her.
They found
They
her.
have her?
They found her. They have her, and
She
she
is in him.
is in him.
Got it.
Well,
I'm gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
well, this has been interesting, but as as I said, you are far too big a fish for our little hooks. Uh, we wish you well and peaceably go about your business. We wish you no quarrel. And they leave. I mean, they didn't
Just
even
curious.
make themselves visible to you. They always stayed around the corner. Unless you guys walked around the corner, they weren't.
I assumed that because they cast detect thoughts, I could,
Yeah, I
but
figured that's
detect
fair.
thoughts requires line of sight.
Oh, oh. Well, then they wouldn't have been able to cast it on you. So, there you go.
So then I would not have been able to cast it, and we no
Well, and
longer
I
have
wouldn't
that
have had that.
intel.
Yeah, then I guess one of them was visible because I wouldn't have been able to do that. So, one of the leader made himself visible, and that's the one you could have cast detect thoughts on, and that's the one who would have been able to do that on robes. So there you go. And he's just going to be backing away from you, hands up, tentacles up. Uh,
Yeah.
That would
as
look ridiculous.
it would.
The hands up, not so much, but tentacles up would look ridiculous.
It says that I
Very
also
well
get
then.
insight into its emotional state. Does it
Yes.
sound hopeful or concerned or like what is the emotional um undercurrent of this thought?
You catch three emotions right out of the gate. First one is excited. This is huge news. Second is uh uh like anticipation, and then the third is raw ambition. Almost ambition. I'll give you a fourth one: homesickness.
So that all could have been done without anybody seeing any each other. If you read the last couple of paragraphs of Detect Thoughts, you can detect presence of thinking creatures you can't see, and then once you've detected them, you can do all of that.
Oh,
You can do
Oh,
everything as though you
okay.
could see them.
I missed that last paragraph.
So
Sorry, it
that's
was
sort
all
of
the first paragraph is
all
all
been
about
done without
things we can
anybody
see.
being seen.
Okay, so then we couldn't see them. We can just stick with how it had been.
oh, okay. Yep. And that's how I was actually thinking of that. So yeah, that's how it will remain. That you guys are on one side of it and they're on the other.
So there were no
Okay.
raised tentacles.
There were no.
Well, we don't know. We can't see.
Yeah, they
Maybe
We
raised.
don't know if
maybe
he's
they just
aroused.
do that, like just-
What aroused did you?
Well, I
say?
guess you would know if he was aroused because you got his
I would, yeah.
emotional state.
I would know. Yeah.
So you would know if those tentacles were raised or not.
Not aroused.
In which
Is it not?
tentacles?
Not aroused. Anyway, but the sense of ambition, excitement, and homesickness, I think, are the ones that are most readily accessible to Vela.
So Robin has ideas of what this means, but I'm not sure without Robespierre, without Winston playing Robespierre, like how much he's shared. Like even right now, I'm sure Vela hasn't shared with us what she heard, but it's just the idea.
Well,
I
not
don't
yet.
know
I haven't.
what we know or what we don't
You
know
guys,
in order to put things together,
I
right?
don't
Yeah, I
think
don't think we
Winston
know
said
anything.
anything.
Well, clearly Winston hasn't because he hasn't
No,
played
but I
since
mean, even
this happened.
right,
But
like
that's what I'm saying. We don't
yeah,
know what
yeah,
is like. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't
yeah.
know
That's a fair
what
point.
he would. We spent a whole night in that village. You know,
There
would
could
he
have
have
been a bunch of
shared?
RP.
And I have no idea what his preference is as far as what the
Yeah,
party
I
knows. So
really don't either. So,
Well, he's sort of catatonic.
right.
We know that.
well, I played it that way without asking him. So,
Well, because
But
it's
the
better
other-
than not,
Mhm.
right?
Right. Yeah.
So I just
So-
don't feel like the information's going to be useful at this time because
right.
none of us would be
Mhm.
able to
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to.
Right.
put together
I see that.
except who's not here, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess
Vela could just be
what I would do
jealous.
is I could be jealous, but then I would probably also check in with anybody in the party who uses he/him pronouns, which is 2. And when Nubin doesn't, I'm assuming Nubin has. Do you have anything that? Do you
Are you
own
letting
anything
them?
that
Are
has
are you asking
her?
this question while they're still hanging out? Because they're leaving.
No, they left.
Yeah.
I don't
No.
think we stopped them from the.
Yeah.
No, I
don't think
wasn't
we
looking
stopped
for.
Village
I
from
wasn't looking to
All
talk
right,
to
the
them. I
Illithid
was
will
looking for
retreat.
in my party.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Illithid
In
retreat.
my party, I was going to ask Nubin telepathically, "Do you own something and refer to it as a she, a her? Do you have something that has a she?"
Another weapon that talks to you.
No.
That was telepathic because I wasn't sure how far away they were.
Oh,
So-
you didn't say that, so I didn't know that.
Sorry, yeah, I thought I did at the beginning, but I also said 25 when I meant 12 the other time, so who knows? So if he says no, I'm not going to ask Robes because I know Robes is emotionally weird right now, and I want to ask when he's feeling like I'm going to assume it's Robes, and then there's going to be jealousy, and also concern, and then I'll probably act on it with the rest of the party
Okay.
once we get into like a pause point where we feel confident that we're not being eavesdropped on by other Illithid.
All right.
I would like to ask a question of the group and as a whole. I was very conflicted there and wanted to kill them so that they don't prey on Surf Nibelin who might travel this way. They obviously said that we were too strong and they didn't want to deal with us, which made me more inclined to kill them because they're looking to prey on the weaker. How do you all feel about
I'm
that?
not a big fan of those creatures. We ran into a couple of them before. They seem pretty predatory for the most part.
I don't
least the
believe that
ones
I
we've
even trust
interacted.
that they're gone.
Yeah, and they said that we are too big for them, but what if they're just following us and waiting for another opportunity? I didn't even trust what they were saying, to be quite honest.
No, I don't
They
think there's any reason to trust them. I just wonder about everyone's thoughts if we encountered the type of creature again. Uh, my inclination was to destroy them.
I would have been interested to know what information they wanted, just because then we know what would be helpful for them, if that makes sense.
Vela's deep in thought, and that as when Mary says that, she looks up. Um, I listened to their thoughts, and one of them said well, in his head, he was very excited, like we were some big exciting thing, and his thoughts said, they found her, they have her, and she's in him. But it's not Nubin, so. And she kind of peers over at the weird catatonic robes. But they also felt homesick. Like they're not from here.
No, I
And
don't.
like they just want to go home. So I
Yeah, I'd
wonder
rather
if
they go home as well, right? I mean,
yeah. I'm just curious what they would be preying on. Like what's the end game for preying on this Nerf tablet?
Well, sustenance.
right.
Will they eat them?
They eat the
The
brains.
brain.
Oh right. Hmm. Everybody's got to eat.
Usually not sentient things, though, or, you know,
Yeah. Is there anything else down here?
mushrooms, but they
I'm
don't have.
sure there are plenty of creatures that live in these.
But they're
tunnels.
sentient too.
These
Maybe
mushrooms
we
are.
Maybe we should pop back and let them know about Arnax, because I bet Arnax has a really big brain.
I imagine
And
if
that,
they live down here, they're aware of him.
right.
And if we're not going to kill them, I don't want to have any further interaction with them.
Yeah, anything that can get into our minds like that could be very dangerous.
I'm very dangerous.
Hmm.
That proves the point, doesn't it?
Pulls out a fuzzy ball and tosses it on the ground.
Oh, well, all
I
right.
just need some company. Something to pet.
Here comes the giant
Definitely.
elk.
I think I have the table.
It's
Oh,
a
never mind.
weasel.
Yay! That's what I wanted. Hang out on my neck, Weasel.
All right, weasel
And
jumps
then
up and hangs up on your neck.
I'm just gonna pet it as we walk.
Okay.
Could we take a bio break?
We can. We could also.
What's
I mean,
pumpkin time?
yeah. What is pumpkin time, Tony?
Well, I've got a little bit of time left, but if we're getting to a point where we really want to have robes, we can also.
What do you guys want to vote?
Call
Do
it.
you guys want to just call it for the night, or do you want to push on to Excise House?
I think we're at a point where we need Winston
Robes.
to tell us what
Mhm.
Robes is going to tell us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll just
I
call
think
it a
this is a
short
good
night tonight.
call. Yeah.
We at least got you through the Snurf Nebula, and you have So to sum up,
We got a tuning
you
fork.
did get a tuning fork tonight. I mean, yeah, a little slow news. Of You found out that the mind flayers are interested. You found out last time that the beholders know a little bit about what's happening here interdimensionally, or at least a beholder knows. You know that you need several things in order to destroy the thread gate once you're on the other side of once you're in this in the demon web pits. Uh, you now have a way to potentially plane shift back, um, but you also know you need to find some more things, and in order to do that, you need to get to the to Airlike Kinlu, you think, because that's where you're going to find city stuff. Uh, and that's, I guess, where we'll call it tonight, and we'll pick it up, I hope, in 2 weeks. I'm just checking our calendar because I think we're good in 2 weeks, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Is
should be
that
back.
St. Patrick's Day?
Oh.
Uh-oh. Do you have to celebrate Super Hardy?
I don't. I just was noticing the date, right? That's
Yeah,
what.
it is.
Yeah.
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 I'm good if we go. And we'll get this sorted. Until we're back here next time, which is tomorrow night with the Warbler Brothers, the darkest timeline. All that is evil and wrong has happened because my character's engagement was destroyed by a time shift. Uh, I'm no longer able to marry Debbie Gibson, and that's a problem. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's the darkest timeline. Okay. But we'll be back here tomorrow with the Darkest Timeline, the Warblers Brothers World Tour, which is otherwise known as Candlekeep Mysteries, with DM Dusty. And then we are back here next Sunday. I
Maybe.
am not going to be here next Sunday, so I'll talk to Ed about that later.
Watch Twitch for our updated schedule.
We'll be we'll be we'll update that later. All right. Until then, roll some dice, play some games, and give your time and treasure to causes that are meaningful to you. Have a good night, everybody.